Hi everyone, it is Dani and welcome to this updated video this evening. I hope that you guys are doing really great. And so there are two tropical waves across the area bringing lots of rainfall to sections of the Caribbean. And so I will be going into all that is happening now and what is expected. And before I go into details, please do subscribe and tap the bell if you haven't yet done so that you never miss an important update. Alright, and so we are returning to this infrared satellite view of the Caribbean, and we can see that there is a lot going on across some areas. There's that major tropical wave. Its axis is actually outside of the Caribbean right now, but there is all that shower and thunderstorm activity ahead of it that is impacting the Lesser Antilles. And if you notice the pattern here, it is lifting more to the north. So more of the Lesser Antilles going into the Leeward Islands will be feeling impacts from this as we head through the rest of today and possibly into tomorrow as well. But as we drift more to the west, there is that other blob of activity in the southwestern Caribbean, and a tropical wave is also in the area. But firstly, we're going to be focusing on the east, and we want to talk about northern South America. And so the axis of that tropical wave, let's go onto this map here. So the axis of that tropical wave is actually across western Suriname right now. So the wave itself, the axis, is not yet in the Caribbean, but it has favored so much activity that we're seeing. And many of you guys, I have been seeing the comments on my previous updates about the rainfall, and I will be responding to them as quickly as I can. I would have loved to do so from before, but I've had a pretty packed day, and so I'm just here to let you guys know what is happening and what to expect. And we'll also be looking at conditions out there. And let's go back to the satellite imagery here. So there's lots of showers and thunderstorms developing this afternoon across sections of northern South America. We see lots of thunderstorm activity across parts of northern Guyana, Venezuela, even across some sections of Suriname and French Guiana as well. And there we have that main area of concentrated activity, which is spreading across the Lesser Antilles. And so looking at it here at a closer view, there we have Trinidad and Tobago. So some islands, you might not be able to see some islands very clearly because of all of that color there. And as we see more of those dark reds and those blacks and even those grays within the midst, that is indicating a lot of thunderstorm activity. And those white dots represent lightning strikes. And so areas such as I said, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, the Grenadines, St. Vincent, also going up into St. Lucia and Martinique, experiencing lots of rainfall. And maybe by the time I've posted this, Dominica will also be included, because we see that this activity is lifted more to the north, as I said. So most of the Lesser Antilles likely going to be feeling impacts from this. For the northernmost islands, though, there might not be as much rainfall for you guys, but for now, it is looking pretty much in the clear. There is some activity nearby, so maybe some overcast conditions, possibly with some brief showers extended from Dominica up to the north. But as I said, by the time I've posted this, maybe there is some activity actually making its way into Dominica. But most of the northeastern islands, the Leeward Islands, go into the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. We're seeing that there's mainly some spots of cloud cover, but there isn't anything too crazy going on right now. The ABC Islands, unfortunately, in the clear due to the location of these three islands here, Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire. There hasn't been much rainfall, and it's been pretty hot. I know for a fact it has been very hot across many areas, and we long for the rain. And the areas that are receiving the rain, I know that there are many persons there grateful for it. Just having that comfort of a cool environment is necessary. And so the issue is when there is a lot of persistent heavy rainfall that results in flooding. So that is why it is important to take the necessary precautions and do not take any unnecessary risk. And so let's drift more into some other areas now. Going over into Central America, there we see all of that activity, again, in association with that other tropical wave that is in the area. And so most of this activity, the heaviest showers and thunderstorm activity, is currently offshore of Nicaragua. But going inland, we see that some areas are likely experiencing some developing showers and thunderstorms this afternoon from sections of the Yucatan down into some parts of Guatemala, not a whole lot for Belize, and the islands Roatan and Burgers Key, going down into El Salvador, Honduras, and again in sections of Nicaragua there is some activity as well. Also some developing thunderstorms across Panama and for sections of Costa Rica, especially close to the Pacific coast. So that is what is happening in those areas. Go into the northern Caribbean now. We're focusing on the Greater Antilles here. For Jamaica, we see some activity developing across some southern parishes, but it is a hot day for most of us. You can let me know in the comments what conditions are like in your area. The Cayman Islands, in the clear right now, not seeing anything major going on. Some activity developing across Hispaniola, Cuba, the Bahamas, Florida, and not much for the Turks and Caicos Islands at the moment. So this is what we see happening this afternoon across the Caribbean. And as I said, that rainfall threat is going to remain there, that flood threat rather. So there's going to be a lot of heavy rainfall continuing for parts of the Lesser Antilles as we head into tomorrow. And now we want to go ahead and take a look at the Saharan area map. So where we see more of those shades of oranges and reds, that is where we have a lot more abundant dry air. And this is helping to suppress any development across the region. So we see some activity off the coast of Africa. There we have that blob of activity moving into the Caribbean, and that second one in the southwestern Caribbean over there. And there we see that area, a lot of dry air noted there. So as I said, that helps to suppress development, and it isn't something uncommon to see because the Saharan dust is pretty plentiful at this time of year, June to July, even going into August. And there are other times when it is above average. For example, back in 2020, that was when most persons got aware of the Saharan dust, that it was actually a thing. I remember that clearly. So there's lots of dust out there, and it helps to suppress development. So that is why it doesn't seem as though we're going to be having any cyclones developing, at least for the next 2 weeks or so. But of course, as usual, I'll keep you guys posted. And what is fueling this tropical wave? So there are above average water temperatures, surface water temperatures, which helps with a lot more evaporation. So lots of moisture, which favors the development of all that shower and thunderstorm activity. So that is what we see going on, guys. And with all this heat, you guys in the Eastern Caribbean can look forward to a lot more activity like this. And so that is pretty much it for this update. And I hope that you found it to be quite informative. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and you can also share your thoughts there. I will respond once I get the chance to. Again, I have a pretty packed day, and also a packed day ahead of me because tomorrow is my graduation. But nevertheless, I ensure to make the time to keep you guys updated on what is happening. But I love hearing from you. I love interacting with you guys. So just leave the comments down below. And as always, remember to be weatherwise.